Hey now, Deadheads, we're back again with another Dead-related release. This time it is the 50th anniversary edition of Jerry Garcia's Garcia album. Now, that's the 1972 Garcia album, not the 1974 Garcia album. For those who are maybe a little bit confused or having a hard time keeping track, sometimes I do. This time, had to put a little post-it note on there, keep it family-friendly, but we've got a really interesting one today. Because this is a release that has gotten re-released again and again and again over the years. This isn't, the first 180-gram vinyl repressing that we've seen, and even in the past decade, we've seen a few different versions. But this is, for the first time ever, the first gatefold 2-record version. We've got 2 records, this time on gold, which contains the outtakes of the Garcia sessions. We've got outtakes like an alternate version of Sugary. We've got a study for Eep Hour. We've got a couple alternate takes of The Wheel, a personal favorite of mine. The more wheels, the better for me on this edition. And this is the first time that these songs are pressed on vinyl. If you stream a lot, or I think there was a CD edition, deluxe edition of the CD that had that second disc, but I know Spotify and Apple Music have all these songs, but this is the first time on vinyl, and it sounds great on 180-gram vinyl. Now, I haven't had a chance to do a shootout between this version and original pressings, Warner Green Labels, recent releases. I believe the most recent was the Kevin Gray mastering. No idea who did the mastering on this one. The rumor is that it's just a repressing of the Kevin Gray edition from recent releases, but pretty good sounding record. I don't have the original pressing. I can't do a shootout, but I have been doing my research. I wanted to see, how does this compare? Now, typically, I am a little bit less inclined towards collecting originals. If I can get them easily, I'll grab them. I'll snatch them up, whether it's inheriting, picking them up at a record store. Easy to find. I'm not scouring Discogs to find a mint original first pressing. But if I have access to them, I'll do a shootout. Others who have done the shootout have said that this sounds pretty good. It's pretty close. Now, it's not going to sound as good as an original pressing, but it is probably going to be a little bit cleaner. Those 50-year-old records tend to gather a little bit of dust over the years, and so I'm happy with a clean and pretty good sounding pressing. It's probably, in fact, it's doubtful all analog chain for this one. There's probably a digital intermediary there. And I've said this before on the channel, I don't have the gear to really discern the difference. Now, one day, aspirationally, I would like to, but right now, I've got a pretty good setup. I've shown, given a tour of my gear before on this channel. I've got a pretty good setup that I'm happy with right now, but to really dig into the nuances of those original first pressings and these rather clean, rather flat sounding, rather, well-pressed 50th anniversary editions, I'm pretty satisfied with them right now. If I open it up, I'll show you what's actually in the packaging. We have a brand new essay by David Frick, and so this is new to, I don't believe this was on the recent pressings from the last 10 years. So pretty cool, pretty nice, story of Garcia's Garcia album. I would recommend a compliment to the David Frick essay in here. Listen to the Good Old Grateful Dead episode, Good Old Grateful Dead cast episode that Jesse Jarno put together about this album. I think it's about an hour and a half. Super in-depth, really good stuff, really exploring how the Grateful Dead, most of the band members are playing on this, how they all came together. You've got a lot of Billy Kreutzmann, of course, Robert Hunter writing the songs, but really good storytelling behind Garcia recording this album. I think the story was that he recorded the solo album because he wanted to buy a house. He bought Sound Suchi, the house that he and Mountain Girl moved into, I believe, with the advance from this album. And so this was Jerry buys a house, so he records an album. My only real complaint, and this is a silly complaint, I've got the family-friendly censorship here, and you might recall that the original edition was also family-friendly. You had that sticker covering up the bottom third, I'd say, bottom third of this record. The no bottom third hype sticker on this one. Just a little nuance, a little family-friendly PG sticker for the record stores that got lost over the years, lost in translation. And so this is our last 50th anniversary edition for this year. Bobby seemed to have missed the 50th anniversary for Ace, and so we're going to get the 50th anniversary edition on the 51st anniversary next January, early next January. That one I will be able to do a shootout with. It's in pretty rough shape, but an original Ace that I'll be comparing that to. That's not a 2LP edition. The CD edition has, again, that live 50th anniversary show from Radio City Music Hall, but the vinyl is just that single 180-gram Pearl Ace. So excited to get that one. That'll be early January. And then we've got a few other 50th anniversary editions coming out next year, and I'm pretty excited about those. I'm going to be kind of talking about what we're expecting from next year on one last video for this year. I'm anticipating it, so excited about that. And I think that is it. So thank you guys very much for joining me today for the first time ever. Bowie over here made a cameo appearance. He wanted to say hi. He's a big fan of Garcia's 1972 self-titled album. We've been listening to it together quite a lot, and so doesn't have much to say about it, but he's quite a fan. But otherwise, thank you guys very much for joining me today. Another great release from the Grateful Dead. Appreciate it. Peace.